Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakter Bhavati Naistiki. So, continuing with our discussion of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. So, today we'll start from text 44. So, yesterday we were discussing about the flowery words of Vedas, in which it is described the heavenly planets, how opulent and how luxurious the heavenly planets are, how much facilities they have, and people get enamored by those words, and they want to go to heavenly planets instead of working on devotional service and try to go to the spiritual world. So, continuing with that heavenly planets idea, Krishna says, Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam taya parat chetasam vyavsayatmika buddhi samadho na vidhiyate. Means in the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, bhog and ashwarya, and who are bewildered by such things, taya prahat chetasam. Prahat chetasam means those whose mind or whose intelligence is taken away by this attachment to sense enjoyment and material opulence. The resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. Means people who are too attached to doing this karma kanda activities for trying to go to heavenly planet, for them they're not interested in bhakti. They're not interested in devotional service. In the purport, Prabhupada says, Samadhi means fixed mind. Samadhi is never possible for persons interested in material sense enjoyment and bewildered by such temporary things. So they cannot be interested in Samadhi. Samadhi means fixed mind, fixed on devotional service, fixed at the lotus feet of the Lord. It doesn't say that one should not work for material opulence, or one should not try to even make money. It doesn't say that. All the shloka says one who is too attached to sense gratification and material opulence. So the problem is of attachment, not of the things, not of the opulence. Problem is with the attachment. So Krishna is speaking this Bhagavad Gita to Arjun. And later on, Arjun, along with Yudhishthira Maharaj, they all ruled over the whole world, not just Hastinapur or Indraprasth. They ruled over the whole world. But they were not at all attached, even though they had the whole worldly kingdom to rule over. They were not attached, because as soon as they heard that Krishna in Dwarka has left for the spiritual world, Yudhishthira Maharaj at once he gave up his kingdom, gave it to Parikshit Maharaj, and left the kingdom for heavenly abode, or in fact the spiritual world. And all the brothers, including Draupadi Maharani, they just followed him. So they were not attached at all. So attachment is a problem, not the things, not the possessions. So even after having the possessions, if one is using that in the service of Krishna, using it for the propagation of Krishna consciousness, that those possessions are not a problem. They are in fact helpful in one's making progress in bhakti. So Krishna further says about the Vedas, what is given in the Vedas. Traigunya Vishya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastho Niryoga Kshematmavan. The Vedas deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature. O Arjun, become transcendental to these three modes, be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. So Vedas deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature, means Satagun, Rajagun, and Tamagun. That's all. Mainly, most part of the Vedas, and especially even in most those parts is the Karma Kanda activities. So Krishna is telling Arjun, Nistragunya, get become transcendental to these three modes. So only bhakti is transcendental to all the three modes. Be free from all dualities. Dualities means victory, defeat, heat, cold, honor, dishonor. So these are all dualities which are related to body only. And from all anxieties for gain and safety. Because these anxieties and the happiness or distress thereof, it all belongs to the body. And then Krishna is saying, be established in the self, means be established in the that you are a spirit soul. The Prabhupada is writing, all material activities involve actions and reactions in three modes of material nature. They are meant for fruitive results which cause bondage in the material world. The Vedas deal mostly with fruitive activities to gradually elevate the general public from the field of sense gratification to a position on the transcendental plane. So Vedas mainly deal with the fruitive activities, and the idea behind all this is to gradually elevate the general public from the field of sense gratification to transcendental plane. The idea behind those so many karma kanda activities given in Vedas is that to gradually elevate the public, the general public. Because it's not going to happen that everybody is going to is going to take up devotion service all of a sudden or right away. Not going to happen. So slowly, let them gradually elevate to come to the platform of devotion service. Arjuna, as a student and friend of Lord Krishna, is advised to raise himself to the transcendental position of Vedanta philosophy, where in the beginning there is Brahm Jigyasa, or questions on the supreme transcendence. Like this is the first Vedanta Sutra. Shloka is Athato Brahm Jigyasa. Means At Brahm Jigyasa. Means now since you got this human form of life, at means now, at least now you try to inquire about the absolute truth. Now at least you try, start it, because this is a human life. This is a best thing that one can achieve in human life. At least he can try to find out what is the aim of life, what is self-realization, who am I, where am I going from, where did I come from, where am I going from here, why I'm here. If these questions are not asked by a person when he is in human form of life, then it is called he is as good as an animal, because he is only interested in four activities: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. When the activities for sense gratification, namely the Karma Kanda chapter, are finished, then the chance for spiritual realization is offered in the form of the Upanishads. Upanishads are corollaries of Vedas. So they basically, Vedas means, the word Veda means the knowledge. So all the spiritual knowledge is every knowledge, material and spiritual, is given in the Vedas. It just we have to understand which Veda, which part of the Veda suits me now. It's not like like Puranas, there are 18 Puranas, 6 Puranas are for people in mode of goodness, 6 for people in mode of passion, 6 for people in mode of ignorance. So every Purana is not for everybody. We have to understand our position, where do we stand, and which Purana and which Upanishad to follow. So that's why we need a guru to make progress in spiritual life. For example, Today, Navratras have started. So, if somebody follows Devi Puran, very good. So one can follow Devi Puran, one can follow the rules and rituals given in the Devi Puran, and do the worship Mother Durga these 9 days. And she can bestow whatever she wants to. In fact, that is what is given in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where the divine and demoniac personalities are described. So those who worship Devi, basically they ask her for Rupam Dehi, Dhanam Dehi, this Dehi, that Dehi, give me that, give me this, give me that. This is all they ask for, which is fine from their point of view. But Krishna is telling Arjun, you get beyond these three modes, get beyond even asking in these three modes. And this is what he's saying, Niryoga Kshem. Be free from all anxieties of gain and safety. Niryoga Kshem. Don't worry about yoga, means gaining, and safety, kshema. Because Krishna later on, he uses this word, yoga kshem. When he says, those who are surrendered to me, I take care of them. I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. I do it personally, he says. So that is for devotees who are beyond these three modes. So basically, Bhagavad Gita, just like from this verse only, it's in the 2nd chapter, and Krishna is basically he's telling Arjuna to become a devotee. Only a devotee is beyond the three modes of material nature. So Bhagavad Gita, that's when Prabhupada translated it as it is. Every purport of Bhagavad Gita, when we read, Prabhupada clearly takes us towards devotion service, bhakti yoga, bhakti yoga, bhakti yoga. Because this is what is in the heart of Krishna. This is what he's trying to tell the readers of Bhagavad Gita, that this is what you have to do. The Upanishads mark the beginning of transcendental life. So Upanishads mark the beginning of transcendental. This is what Prabhupada is writing. So Upanishad, the word Upanishad, somebody's mic got on. So word Upanishad means, Up means near and Nishad means to seat somebody. So just like we have in ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada commented upon Shri Ish Upanishad. So Ish Upanishad, Ish means Krishna or Ishwar. So that Upanishad, that book which makes us sit close to Ishwar, Krishna. So that is Ish Upanishad. Isha Upanishad. So Upanishads mark the beginning of transcendental life. This transcendental position is achieved in full Krishna consciousness when one is fully dependent on the goodwill of Krishna. The idea is to be fully dependent, but that doesn't mean like Arjun, when he heard the whole Bhagavad Gita, so he was fully dependent on Krishna and he was fully surrendered to Krishna, but that doesn't mean he was lazy and he didn't do his activities. Just like in one of the lectures, Prabhupada said that Arjun, when he heard the full Bhagavad Gita, and when he saw the Virat Roop, universal form of Krishna, he did not tell Krishna, oh Krishna, you are showing me in the universal form that you're going to kill everybody. So why don't you kill everybody? I'll sit in the chariot and smoke ganja. Prabhupada did use these words of smoking ganja. And also Prabhupada says, Krishna did not tell Arjun that I'm going to kill everybody, you can sit on the chariot and smoke ganja. Because basically Prabhupada was preaching to hippies at that time and they were very much addicted to smoking, taking these drugs. So he was trying to tell them, infuse in them that Krishna consciousness does not mean you become lazy. Bhakti process doesn't mean you become lazy. In fact, you work more, you work harder than just any person, because we have another aim to fulfill. First is we have to make sure our material life is taken care of nicely. And then secondly, we have to establish position of Krishna, establish Bhakti Yoga in the world. We have to preach to people in general. So we have to work even doubly harder than anybody else. So a devotee should not be lazy, although he is fully dependent on all his activities. He is, that's why Krishna is saying, Niryoga Kshematman, do not worry about your gain and safety. He will take care. But at the same time, we have to work hard. In next shloka, Krishna says, Yavanar Tudupane Sarvata Samplutodake Tavan Sarveshu Vedeshu Brahmanasya Vijanata. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. The rituals and sacrifices mentioned in the Karmakanda division of the Vedic literature are meant to encourage gradual development of self-realization. This is for gradual development. Self-realization means understanding Krishna and one's eternal relationship with him. So why, just like Krishna is giving this example of all purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Means sometimes in villages, there are different wells for different purpose. So water from one well is drawn for cooking, from one well is drawn for washing clothes, from one well it's drawn for some other purposes, maybe bathing. So different wells are different. But if there's a bigger reservoir water, like a pond is there, then same pond water can be used for different purposes. So why Krishna is saying that Karma Kanda procedure from Vedas. So one Karma Kanda procedure can be used for, suppose somebody wants to get lots of money. Okay, he can follow that procedure. One Karma Kanda procedure, okay, that can be used for maybe getting good health. Another Karma Kanda procedure for getting my children married to nice persons or whatever. So different rituals are there for different purposes. But if somebody knows, similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. Means, so Karma Kanda procedure is basically to please different demigods, and in return, we get different wishes fulfilled. But if somebody pleases Krishna, the Supreme Lord Himself, who is the source of all the demigods, from Him all the demigods get their powers. So if somebody just pleases Krishna, he will definitely get all the demigods pleased, and definitely all his wishes can be fulfilled by Krishna. If Krishna thinks this is the best possible road for this person. So just like Prabhupada is writing in the last paragraph of the purport. So one must be intelligent enough to understand the purpose of the Vedas without being attached to the rituals only, and must not desire to be elevated to the heavenly kingdoms for a better quality of sense gratification. So one has to understand the purpose of the Vedas. The real purpose of the Vedas is to take us back home, back to Godhead, back to the spiritual world. So whole Karma Kanda procedures are given for a gradual elevation to that aspect, to that level. So if somebody knows that purpose, why would he go through Karma Kanda procedures? Prabhupada is writing, it's not possible for the common man in this age to follow all the rules and regulations of the Vedic rituals. Nor is it possible to study all of the Vedanta and the Upanishads thoroughly. The best purpose of Vedic culture is served, however, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, as recommended by Lord Chaitanya, the deliverer of all fallen souls. Towards the end, Prabhupada writes, Vedanta is the last word in Vedic wisdom. and the author and knower of the Vedanta philosophy is Lord Krishna. That's what he tells in 15th chapter. Vedesha sarvar ahamev vedya. I'm the compiler of the Vedas, and by all Vedas, only I am to be known. And the highest Vedantist is a great soul who takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord. That is the ultimate purpose of all Vedic mysticism. So if one knows the purpose of Vedas, if he does that purpose, if he takes care of that purpose, then all other inferior or not so higher purposes can easily be taken care of. And this is what the shloka means. All the purposes served by small wells can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. And then comes the most important verse. Well, actually not the most important, but most popular verse we can say. If we ask anybody in India, if you summarize Bhagavad Gita, what do you say? What is the sar of Bhagavad Gita? What is the essence? He will say very proudly and very nicely, sing, Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Of course, they don't know the whole verse. All they would say is Karmanyevadikaraste. That's it. 1/4 of the verse they will say, and rest 3/4 they will eat up because they don't know themselves. And even if they remember the words, they won't know the meaning. And even if they know the meaning, they won't know the purpose, the purport, the real import of this verse. So let's see what Prabhupada is writing. Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phal heturbhur ma te sango astva karmani. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty. So this is first part of the whole verse. And this is what people say, this is the meaning of Bhagavad Gita. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty. And this is it. But then they don't know the rest 3/4 of the verse, which is, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. You can do your duty, or you have a right to do your duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your action. Never consider yourself the cause of the result of your activities. It's not like if I am doing any activity, I'll get the results, definitely. And who's going to give me the results? I am, because I am doing the duty. No, the results are given by somebody else. And never be attached to not doing your duty. Even if you don't get the results, or even if you don't get the results the way you want, how much you want, when you want, where you want, why you want, still you do your duty. And that's the most difficult thing to do actually. Prabhupada is writing in the purport, there are 3 considerations here: prescribed duties, capricious work, and inaction. Prescribed duties are activities enjoined in terms of one's acquired modes of material nature. One's acquired modes of material nature means the soul is transcendental to all these 3 modes. But when we fall in this material world, and because of our taking birth and over again, we acquire different mode of material nature. Means sometimes mode of goodness is predominant, sometimes mode of passion is predominant, and sometimes mode of ignorance is predominant. So whatever the body we have and whatever the consciousness we have acquired, prescribed duties are activities enjoined in terms of that. Means according to whatever the guna, qualities we have acquired, so either we have to do the activities as a Brahman, or as a Kshatriya, or as a Vaishya, or if we are in mode of ignorance, Shudra, if we are in lower modes of ignorance, because there could be different gradation of ignorance also. So we go below that, so other other groups or gradations are given. So there are prescribed duties for every gradation or group. I'm going to mute some people. God. Capricious work means actions without the sanction of authority. So capricious work means actions without the sanction of authority, means I want to do whatever I want to do. I don't care what my prescribed duty is. And third is inaction. Inaction means not performing one's prescribed duties. The Lord advised that Arjun not to be inactive, but that he perform his prescribed duty without being attached to the result. So this is the idea that Krishna wants. This is what Krishna is expecting from us. To do our duties, to do a prescribed duty, that is prescribed according to our acquired mode of nature, and without being attached to the result. One who is attached to the result of his work is also the cause of the action. Thus, he is the enjoyer or sufferer of the result of such actions. Then he gets attached. As far as prescribed duties are concerned, they can be fitted into three subdivisions, namely routine work, emergency work, and desired activities. Routine work is performed as an obligation in terms of scriptural injunctions without desire for results, and that is work in the mode of goodness. And similarly, other works in the mode of passion and ignorance given. In the last paragraph, Prabhupada is writing, Arjuna was therefore advised by the Lord to fight as a matter of duty without attachment to the result. So this is the Nishkam Karma Yoga. Nishkam, without being attached to the result. His non-participation in the battle is another side of attachment. So that was another side of attachment, that I don't want to fight. It was I again. So I means attachment. I want to fight. Duryodhan was, I want to fight, and all these kings are going to fight for my sake. So that was another kind of attachment. Such attachment never leads one to the path of salvation. Any attachment, positive or negative, is cause for bondage, because then we get reactions of work which binds us to this material world. Inaction is sinful. Not doing the duty definitely is sinful. Therefore, fighting as a matter of duty was the only auspicious path of salvation for Arjuna. Although this verse is most popular one, but Prabhupada has given very little purport on this. Although he described many different terms about duties, prescribed duties, capricious work, or inaction. So inaction, definitely not good. Capricious work, means doing whatever I want to do. Arjun, although being a Kshatriya, he wanted to take up the position of a beggar or a mendicant, or he would just wanted to leave everything, go to the forest. But Krishna is saying, no, this is not your prescribed duty. You do your prescribed duty, and you're not entitled to the fruits of action. It's not that by your fighting you will win. You're not entitled. And you're not the cause of the result of your activities either. It's not like because you're fighting, you will get the victory or you will get whatever result you want. Not going to happen. Indirectly, Krishna is saying, I give the results. And I decide when, how, where, how much I have to give you the results. Not according to your activity. For example, even in the material world, we can see there's so many students, they appear for IIT entrance exams. So many students, they appear for medical entrance exams. Not every single student is going to get into IIT or AIMS or any of the medical college. Not going to happen. So they have the right to perform their duty. They have a right to do nice preparation. But the results are all in the hands of Krishna. Who will get into which college and who will not at all get into any college, it all depends on Krishna. Of course, somebody says if somebody works hard, then he will crack the IIT exam. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. If hard work only was the result, only the cause of entrance, then there are so many people who work hard. If hard work was the only cause for making money, then a rickshaw puller works more hard than any IT person. But the IT persons make more money than a rickshaw puller. So it's a hard work, effort is there, but at the same time, mercy of Krishna is there. Of course, we can say it was my destiny to make money or my destiny to get into IIT or some medical college, but that destiny is what? It is result given to us for our previous karmas by Krishna. Again, the results are given by Krishna. We don't decide those results. We just do our activity. And this is what Krishna is telling Arjuna. You have a right to perform your duty. You do your duty. In fact, although Krishna is talking about Nishkam Karma Yoga here, but actually this verse, if you look at it from Bhakti Yoga point of view, it's a perfect verse. We can say this is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Why? From Bhakti Yoga, suppose from a devotee perspective, you have a right to perform your bhakti. Krishna is telling, you have to do your bhakti, but you're not entitled to your fruits of action. Actually, devotees, they don't even care for the fruits of action. What they care is, I want to serve Krishna. That's it. Whatever he gives me, fine. Even if it doesn't give me, next line, never consider yourself the cause of the result of your activities. They say, I'm not the cause of my result of my activities. My Thakurji, whatever he wants to give, whenever he wants to give, that's fine. And then never be attached to not doing your duty. A devotee is never lazy. He's always serving Krishna. Whether Krishna gives him or whether Krishna doesn't give him, whether Krishna gives him to eat, whether Krishna does not provide him to eat, he says, whatever he does, it's his mercy. It hardly matters. So from bhakti angle, it's a perfect verse actually, from devotee's point of view. But since we are not at that level, we cannot imitate pure devotees. So we have to, so we get entangled, and many times we lament, oh, I'm working so hard, but I'm not getting the results. I'm not there. Maybe I'm not pure, and this. Do not worry. Krishna is watching everything. For a devotee, he is always there to take care. But it's Krishna who decides how much the devotee gets, when he gets, where he gets. Krishna decides. So for a devotee, it's a perfect verse. For a Nishkam Karma Yogi, perfect verse. But for Karma Yogis, not even Karma Yogis, Karma Kandis or Karmis, they run away from this verse. They only listen to 1/4 of the verse, and they just say, "Oh, you have a right to perform your duty." And then they, just like during emergency time, every government official, they had this on plaque on the table: "Work is worship," or what was that? Kam adik bate kam, something like that. They used to have on their table. Means don't waste time in useless gossip. Just work. So work.
Talk less.
Work more, talk less, right? Yeah, kam adik bate kam. But this is not the. I mean, yes, we have to do our duties, but it's not like we work like an ass or a donkey.
And it's also fashionable. People say, "Karm kar, phal ki chinta na kar." And the other part, nobody even cares.
Nobody cares.
And then it becomes a style statement as well. Karm kar, phal ki chinta mat kar.
But they all worry about the results. They just say that we don't worry, and they just tell somebody else, "Oh, don't worry about the results." But he himself is worried about the results.
Yes.
He himself is worried about the output or the production and everything, productivity. He himself is worried. But for a devotee, it's a perfect verse because they fully surrendered, fully dependent on Krishna. But Arjun showed the attitude of a perfect devotee. He fought when, after listening to whole Bhagavad Gita, after assimilating the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita in 48 minutes, and after that the war started. And we can read from Mahabharata how much, how valiantly, tirelessly Arjun fought. He killed so many soldiers, so many warriors from the other side. So this is the result of reading or assimilating, realizing the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Not laziness. Laziness cannot be one of them. Arjun never became lazy after listening to Gita. Okay, then Krishna further says, Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yog uchyate. So he's talking about now yoga. While performing the activities, perform your duty equipoised, Arjun, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. Because such equanimity can only happen when one's consciousness is completely attached to Krishna. Then only he can abandon the attachment to success or failure in his own terms. Success or failure is, if I please Krishna, that is success. If I please Krishna by my activities, that is success. Materially, if I fail, hardly matters. Materially, if I am successful, but if I did not please Krishna, what is the use? For example, Ravan was materially, he was very successful person. He had a full kingdom made of gold. We can't even have a bed made of gold. We can't even have a chair made of gold. He had the full kingdom made of gold. He had this Viman, this aeroplane, which obviously he stole from Kuber. Not stole, he snatched it from Kubera. A Pushpak Viman, which could expand according to the number of passengers. It could become as big as number of passengers can sit on it comfortably. And it would fly by the speed of mind. So materially, he was very, very successful. He would show off his riches to everybody. But he did not please Lord Ram. So he was a failure. So this success or failure, not attachment to success or failure, can only happen for a devotee, for a person who's in connection with the Supreme Lord. So that's why it's called, such equanimity is called yoga. Krishna tells Arjuna that he should act in yoga. And what is that yoga? Yoga means to concentrate the mind upon the Supreme by controlling the ever-disturbing senses. Concentrate the mind upon the Supreme. Bhakti yoga is concentrate the mind upon serving the Supreme with love and devotion by controlling the ever-disturbing senses. So same thing. So Bhakti Yoga, since it is easy, it is more potent. That's why Bhakti Yoga is established in this Bhagavad Gita. And who is the Supreme? The Supreme is the Lord. And he himself is telling Arjun to fight. Arjun has nothing to do with the results of the fight. Gain or victory are Krishna's concern. Arjun is simply advised to act according to the dictation of Krishna. The following of Krishna's dictation is real yoga. Nice line Prabhupada is writing. The following of Krishna's dictation is real yoga. And this is practiced in the process called Krishna consciousness. By Krishna consciousness, only one can give up the sense of proprietorship. Proprietorship means success or failure is also another kind of proprietorship. I own the success, I own the failure. No. I just own the service. That's it. My job is to serve. One has to become the servant of Krishna or the servant of Krishna. That is the right way to discharge duty in Krishna consciousness, which alone can help one to act in yoga. So this is yoga. Not the yogas that we see on TV or on YouTube these days. Those are different kind of yoga asanas, which yogasanas are still okay, but the other different kinds of yoga very popular in the Western world. Kick yoga, kickboxing yoga, and this yoga, that yoga. That's not yoga. Those are just gymnastics. The Prabhupada would call it gymnastics. Those are not yoga. Nobody's linking with the Supreme by those exercises. Those different kind of exercises. Because the word yoga is very popular, it's very attractive, they use the word yoga. But it's not yoga, it's just kickboxing exercise or other exercises. So real yoga is to link with the Supreme. Text 49. Durenhi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddho sharnam anvicha kribna fal hetvaha. O Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service, and in that consciousness surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. Kripana phala hetavaha. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. So what Arjuna is supposed to keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service. And in that consciousness, surrender unto the Lord. Means he is saying, by devotional service, one even gets away from the desire of doing any sinful activity. One who has actually come to understand one's constitutional position as an eternal servitor of the Lord, gives up all engagement save working in Krishna consciousness. Buddhi yoga means transcendental loving service to the Lord. Such devotional service is a right course of action for the living entity. So such devotional service. But transcendental loving service to the Lord doesn't mean we have to leave every activity and sit in the temple and ring the bell and this is what is Buddhi Yoga. Or this is what means the transcendental loving service to the Lord. No. Was Arjun doing that? After listening to Bhagavad Gita, did he leave everything and sit in the temple and he was ringing the bell and playing nice harmonium and mridanga? No. He was doing his duty properly, and his duty was to fight, and that was ordained by Krishna to Arjun for him to fight and fight nicely, but in the right consciousness, in the mood of service to Krishna, that this fight I'm doing is as an offering to Krishna. So we can do our duty of taking care of household, taking care of our families, taking care of the job, looking after our other well-being, but in the right consciousness as an offering to Krishna. And to keep our consciousness proper as in the service of Krishna, Prabhupada has given us many practices: chanting, reading, occasional service to the devotee, service at the temple, So all these practices are given for us to keep our consciousness proper. But at the same time, we have to do our so-called material duties. Actually, these duties, if a consciousness is proper, we'll see that these duties are given to us by Krishna himself. So they are not material duties. But if we do them in proper consciousness, they're all spiritual. We can see the spirituality in that. And then when we do that, then we are linked with Krishna. And there could be many examples of people, although living in the temple, but their consciousness is all material. So it's not the outward what we are doing, it's what's inside that matters the most. Arjun, from outside looking, Arjun was killing people. He killed his own grandfather. And that too, while hiding behind this man, Shikhandi, he shot arrows as Bhishma there. So from external point of view, he committed a sinful activity. But this is not exactly right, because this is what he did at the order of Krishna, and this what pleased Krishna. So it was perfect, pure devotional service. Pure devotional service doesn't mean just sitting in the temple and chanting and giving big lectures on Bhagavad and Bhagavad Gita. Arjun performed pure devotional service by killing his own grandfather. While hiding behind this guy, Shikhandi, he shot arrows at Bhishma. He killed Karna when Karna was without any weapons. Karna had gotten down to remove the wheel of his chariot, which was stuck in the mud. And Arjun shot him at that time. Arjun was considered pure devotee because he shot those arrows because Krishna asked him to shoot. So he did not commit any sinful activity. So there are many, we have to understand how to keep our consciousness in the service of Krishna, in the pure mode, proper mode. And then if we are doing activities properly, not for our own personal sense gratification or out of consideration of success or failure, we are Krishna conscious. We can be Krishna conscious at home also. We can be Krishna conscious while dealing with people in the market. We can be Krishna conscious. It's just we have to control our mind, control our activities, and keep our consciousness always pure, always proper. So should I stop here, or although there are 4 more verses in this theme, I don't think we can cover in next 8 minutes. So I can ask for any questions or comments. Looks like this time is not right because people are very sleepy right now, and we can change the timing, maybe keep it a little later if you want. You have to turn on the mic, Prabhu, Radha Damodar Prabhu.
I said 6 o'clock would be better.
Is it? Okay, next. From 24th, we can do 6 to 7. And 25th is Ram Navami, which is on Sunday. Should we have a live class at your place, or what do we do?
Ram Navami, I'll be in Vrindavan, Prabhu.
Oh, Jai.
Guru Maharaj is going to be there. So next 2 weeks, he'll be there.
Prabhuji, do it at Srinivaspuri, if you wish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can do it at Pramod Prabhu's house, and we'll discuss pastimes of Lord Ram.
That would be wonderful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So 25th we'll have the class at Pramod Prabhu's house. Actually, Lord Ram's pastimes, again, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna's pastimes, they're so huge. Just 1 or 2 hour session is not enough. We can have whole katha for 1 week on Lord Ram's pastimes.
The way they have in the temple, I think for 1 week they have Ram Katha.
Yeah, yeah. Because they are amazing pastimes.
Yeah. But we don't have the taste. It's happening for so many years. I've never been there once to hear that.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, like once Harish Pandey Prabhu was interested in organizing a Srimad Bhagavatam Saptah.
Yeah.
So,
He got it organized, I think, for one or 2 days. Not the Bhagavatam, but some katha he organized with the help of Radha Damodar Prabhu.
oh, okay. Yeah.
His father wanted to do that. He called up all the devotees, and then they had a very nice, successful program.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, any questions or comments on the verses that we discussed?
Prabhuji, in fact, on the verse when we talked about doing work, in fact, it's very human for us to kind of, despite kind of trying not to associate us with the result, but then every single activity that we do, and it's very natural that it comes to mind. I'm doing this, or maybe whether I'll be successful or fail. So, what would be the best way to kind of then get out of it?
Well, the best way is to become Krishna conscious. Means if we are reading and chanting and serving properly, we will not be attached to the results. We'll be attached to doing the service properly, that's for sure, but not to the results. But at the same time, at work, you have to report to your boss, and he will be looking for the end results. So it's very difficult. But inside, if in our heart, if we are constantly praying, constantly attached to service, Krishna, then we would be knowing that Krishna will take care. To whatever extent he wants to, he will take care of it. So it's a gradual process. We develop in bhakti very gradually, very slowly, and let it be so. Let it be so. Instead of jumping to or trying to jump or trying to show off to others, let it develop gradually within our heart. That's more important.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So
I have
yes, brother.
this 47th verse which we discussed. So we should perform our duty, and we should not be attached to the results of fruits of the action. Sometimes when we come into Krishna consciousness, we try to do a lot of service, like calling the devotees and then trying to help in the preaching of some senior devotees. So this is all very nice in the beginning, and it helps us grow a Krishna conscious more and more. But with time, sometimes we may get attached to certain devotees. And that then it becomes no more service, but it becomes a kind of fruitive action. So I like this devotee, so I am calling that devotee. So how to always remain connected to Krishna while doing this service? Because it's happening every moment. It's changing. Like this moment, I may be doing purely for Krishna's pleasure. The next moment, I might be doing it for sense gratification.
Well, we have to see where to draw the line. And if we start doing for sense gratification or sense pleasure, we will see that Krishna will not give the results. So even if I'm calling 100 devotees, again 10 will show up, and this will frustrate me if I'm doing it for my own sake.
Okay.
Also, like when we used to go for book distribution.
Yeah.
The moment I think I am doing, because of me, this book distribution is happening, that day we have seen the results.
True, very true.
And the day when we say, Prabhupada, please help us, please you do whatever you want to do, we are like your asses, we have brought the books here, we'll stand at the table and books would go on.
Right. We have all experienced this. Whenever we go there to please the devotees or the pure devotee, senior devotee who's trying to spread this, we have got phenomenal success.
Yep.
That was the only goal with which we went there. But then whenever we went thinking that I will now show off how big I am to all this, all the junior devotees, you don't sell any books. All your
Yeah.
juniors, they give so many books away.
So actually the results are not in our hands. Actually, we look at it, results are not in our hands. We have to do our duty properly, no doubt. But results are not in our hands. So we have to understand that. Hare Krishna Vinay Prabhu, you have a
Hare
question?
Krishna. Yeah, I was just while Radhaji was just telling something about. I was just recalling yesterday. I was watching History Channel, and it's like a 1 hour episode on. There is some event happens in Vrindavan for 11 days, where I don't remember the name of the chief of the, who organizes all the, I would say the cooking activities, for the devotees who will come there in Vrindavan. But it's like every day there are 5,000 devotees who's come, and the event will continue for 11 days. So around 55,000 in total people will come. They have their breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, so I was just recalling what Radhaji was telling, that who is bigger, who is smaller. People, there are different, like breakfast lesson. Who is sitting with them and chopping vegetables doesn't know whether he's a CEO of some company, and next to him the other person who is also doing the same activity, whether he's a poor guy or whatever he is. I mean, they all are enjoying so much in that activity, and everybody is happy. Since morning 5 o'clock, they all come in. They are putting their level best effort to ensure that 5,000 devotees will come, eat it, and go back. That's called, I think, yatra. That yatra event, and they come for lunch and dinner. So that's really, really awesome. I mean, everyone is all together.
Yeah, in Dham, like Vrindavan or Jagannath Puri, Barsana, other places, we can really see the presence of Krishna, because the real devotees, they live in that mood. Krishna takes care, or Ram takes care, or Jagannathji takes care of this place. We are not the caretakers. But when we get out, when we are in Delhi or Bombay or New York or Moscow or other places, we think I'm the doer. Everything is happening because of me. So
Absolutely.
that's what we have to change.
This me should go away, actually. When we say like me, I'm doing it, or me doing it, it should go away. That is the whole purpose.
Yeah. Shweta had her hand up. Who is it?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I attended the session for the first time because I'm in night shifts all the time, so could not make the Bhagavatam in the morning.
Okay.
So I'm thankful to Radha Prabhu to send the link, and thank you so much. Before leaving, I just wanted to say thanks to you as well for this service.
Oh, thank you. Welcome to the class.
Vajani.
Okay, so I guess we should stop here. It's 5:03 p.m.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you all, Prabhus. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
That looks very small. Actually, when we have a